Hey, now welcome. You are listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I am your host, Lynn Richardson. It's WVON 1690 AM, the talk of Chicago, the voice of the nation, our favorite radio station. And we are creating millionaires one family at a time, one day at a time, $1 at a time, and one dime at a time. And that means you. So I'm going to talk to you about the single most important thing that you need if you're trying to get from where you are to where you're trying to go. Yes, you need faith. Yes, you need belief. Yes, you need to stick to it, but you have to have discipline. And a lot of us who are successful, a lot of people who have achieved certain things in life, we have mistaken discipline for control. You see, it took me about 20 years of being in my business to realize that what I thought was discipline, what other people said was discipline, what the world looked at as discipline. They'd say, Lynn, you built this. You must have a lot of discipline. Lynn, you're the most disciplined person that I know. Lynn, discipline, discipline, discipline. But secretly, I knew deep within that I did not have any discipline at all, that what I had was control. You see, control and discipline are two different things. Control is what the world sees. Control manifests the business. Control will manifest maybe the weight loss. Control will manifest many of the things that externally the world can see. But discipline is the thing that only you and God can see. Discipline is the stuff that nobody really knows. Discipline is where you cannot take any shortcuts. So I'm going to say to everybody out there who has built anything, who has anything, those of us who are self-starters, we are motivators, especially a lot of us women, we make it happen no matter what. At the end of the day, we're going to get to the end. We're going to get the child the money that they need for school. We're going to make sure our kid, my grandmother would make sure I got to the cheerleading competitions on a cleaning lady's salary and an 8th grade education. You know, she had control. But what about discipline? What about the things that we are doing on a daily basis to get where we're trying to go? Let me explain this to you. If you have a discrepancy, if you have a gap between discipline and control, I want to tell you the very most important thing that you need to know about lacking one of them. If you don't have discipline, you will lose control. So let's say you build the big business. If you don't have discipline, then it will dwindle. Let's say you get the money because you have the control to go out and make the money. If you don't have discipline, you will lose the money. Let's say you have enough control or manipulation even to go and get the relationship, to get somebody to be with you. And that's an intimate relationship, that is a business relationship, that is any kind of relationship that could exist. If you don't have the discipline to have honor and courtesy and respect, then you will lose control. If you don't have discipline, you will ultimately lose control. So I want us to start to focus together on what it's going to take to have discipline. Let me tell you, I'm lacking discipline in a lot of areas. Let's take this t-shirt, okay? Everybody who knows me knows I shirt under the shirt. Okay, I'm not ironing anything at all, whether you can see it or not. He's ironing the little things. See, that is discipline. And this shirt that I have on needed some ironing, and you can see it, which means I have lost control because of no discipline. So this is a small thing, but this is showing up in the big things in our lives. This is showing up in our money. This is showing up in our business. This is showing up in our ministry. This is showing up in our mission. This is showing up in our careers. So if you don't have discipline, you will ultimately lose control. The next thing you need to know about lacking discipline is this. Discipline is the bridge between what you have and what you want. Let me repeat, discipline is the bridge between what you have and what you want. So let's say you only have, less than 1 month of living expenses. Then discipline is going to get you to the 3-6 months of living expenses, or the year or 2 years of living expenses that you need to have put to the side in order to protect yourself against an unstable economy. Okay, let's say you only have a relationship that is marginal. It is draining you. It is wearing you out. You thought that this person was going to be the best thing since sliced bread. Well, it is discipline
The lack of discipline in staying single and waiting until the person that you want could be tested and could be proven and could show up in your life. It is the discipline that is lacking to do the things that are necessary while you're single, maintaining your integrity, maintaining your sense of peace, and maintaining your sense of worthiness, right? It is the lack of discipline that is allowing us to be in situations where what we have and what we want are so far spread out that we don't even see a way to get there. The other thing I want to say to you about discipline is this. If you want a whole blessing, you cannot take shortcuts. If you want a whole blessing, you cannot take shortcuts. Now, that doesn't mean that you will never achieve anything through a shortcuts. Have there been shortcuts? Absolutely. You know, some will say that I took a shortcut by having weight loss surgery. I had tried and tried and tried. It wasn't working out for me. And so I went and had the weight loss surgery. But let me tell you, it took discipline to keep this weight off for over 14 years. It took discipline to make sure that I'm eating mostly protein and vegetables and not a whole lot of carbs. It takes discipline. So if you want a whole blessing, you cannot take shortcuts. And if you take a shortcut, the shortcut isn't going to keep you there. So do you want a shortcut in the blessing of your business? Do you want a shortcut blessing when it comes to your money? Do you want a shortcut blessing when it comes to your relationships? I would venture to say, no, you do not. So if you want to get to where you are trying to go, if you want to elevate your finances, if you want to own a home, I have a home buyers club, and I have so many people coming to me saying, you know, Lynn, I heard you say that you don't need a high credit score to get a good rate. I heard you don't need perfect credit to get into a home. I heard all of these things. Well, I'm saying join the home buyers club because it's going to give you the discipline and the training to not only achieve the dream of home ownership, but also to keep your home. And I've got folks saying, well, I don't have $49. Well, if you don't have $49, how are you going to buy a house? Okay, so it is the very thing that you do in discipline that is going to be the thing that you need to sustain the dream that you see for yourself, the vision that you see for yourself, the prize that you see for yourself. And I just need to know, you need to answer for yourself right now. Do you want a whole blessing or do you want a shortcut blessing? Do you want a whole vision or do you want a short vision? Do you want a whole dream or do you want a short dream? Well, if you want a whole blessing, then discipline is what it's going to take to not only get you there, but to keep you there and to elevate you to the next level that you can't even see. You see, there's a next level in your blessing. There's a next level in your dream. There's a next level in your finances that you don't even see. It's like going to the airport. You have to walk through the first set of doors before the second set of doors will even open. You don't even know that the second set of doors are back there. I have been in the airport so many times. I was traveling 20 days out of the month. And unless I had visited that airport before, I never knew how many sets of doors I was going to have to walk through in order to ultimately get into the airport. So you have to open that first door before you can even see what's going to happen after that first door. And that first door gets open with your discipline. So how do you enact discipline? How are you going to take all of the things that you haven't done and all of a sudden start to do them? Well, many people say that all it takes is 21 days to create a new habit. So I'm going to ask you to do something that you haven't done before and do it for 21 days, or do something that you dropped off and do it for 21 days. I read the whole Bible. It took me, they said it would take a year. I did it in 9 months. That's because I had the discipline daily to read a scripture, remember a scripture, journal what my thoughts were, and I did it. But then there are times when I have no discipline at all, right? There are days, weeks that I go by without reading my scripture. So for me, for the next 21 days, I am going to not only read the word, I'm going to remember something, and I'm going to let it sit and marinate in my soul so that I can be better for myself and ultimately for my family and for others. I'm going to, during that time, I'm also going to meditate, because meditation is something I don't want to do either. Let me tell you why. Because I have no discipline. Because meditation requires that you throw everything else out of your mind, out of your brain. And I have so many things running around up here that I don't have time to meditate. Well, guess what? If you do not have discipline, you will lose control. And I am certainly not trying to lose control of the things that God has blessed me with. Are you trying to lose control? If you don't exercise discipline with your children, if you don't stick to the punishment that you told them they were going to get, if they didn't clean their room, if they didn't bring home good grades, if they didn't treat their friends or whomever with respect, if you do not stick to the discipline that you said you were going to implement, then guess what? Those kids are going to be out of control, and you will be out of control as well.
Don't turn that dial. We have to take a break. We'll be right back. WVON.
More of the Millionaires Roundtable coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I'm your host, Lynn Richardson, and we are creating millionaires one family at a time, one day at a time, $1 at a time, and one dime at a time. And that means you. So we've been talking about discipline versus control, and I can't think of anybody better to be here with us other than my girl, my business partner, my sister, your icon, our legend, MC Light. MC Light, welcome to the Millionaires Roundtable. It is a new day. It is a new time. And as we start to go out into the world, I'm feeling this need for us to get it all back in control. So with some discipline versus control. So thank you so much, MC Light, for joining us today.
Absolutely. It is my pleasure to be here. And, you know, always when we get to talking, after we finish talking, I'm like sprouting with ideas and feeling great in energy. You know, it's someone that you need to hang around a little more when you feel better after having hanged. And so, it's my pleasure.
Well, come on now. Come on. So I think, one of the big things that we talked about this, the very first time we did our official girls trip at the Essence Festival, right after the movie came out, we convened with many of our colleagues and business partners, several of whom have, we know that Denise and her husband have several multi-million-dollar businesses. We had folks like Kelly Price, and, we had the mayor of, at that time, she was the first Black African-American female mayor, Mayor Cantrell of New Orleans. We had several people stop through. And it was at that event that I kind of coached and trained, and it actually took us through the weekend where we were talking about the differences between discipline and control. And I remember how shocked people were to hear me say that, but what a breakthrough it was for most. And the biggest thing is if you don't have discipline, you will lose control. So when we think about all of the people, not just in entertainment in the public space, but, those people who have privately had some successes, I think we can all kind of go back and look at, wow, I had this blessing. I got it. I was able to control the environment, my activity, partners I had, but because I did not have discipline, I didn't keep it. And so that's my big thing. If you don't have discipline, you will lose control. What are your thoughts about that?
Oh, goodness. Well, first off, it is a very interesting topic because as you were talking about it, I said, well, let me go ahead and look it up. It says discipline is control gained by enforcing obedience or order. Okay. Training expected to produce a specific character or pattern of behavior, especially training that produces moral or mental improvement. And you are absolutely right on the head. Control and discipline they're kissing cousins, I would call them. But the one thing is for sure, though your discipline has to take place behind closed doors, that's getting up, going to the studio, we're talking about when I was younger, it meant waking up at, 5 or whatever to get on a flight, to get to the city, to do the radio, to do the walkthrough, to do the radio in the afternoon, to do to eat the right things, to then go on stage and perform, and then get in the bed at the hotel and go to bed at a decent hour so that I could get up and do it all over again. Now, that took a lot of discipline. And that was mostly because I gave up control to the record label, to management, and I moved the way that they planned for me to move. But another thing that came up on my mind, and my life isn't very different right now, I tell you, because I got a boss who wakes me up whenever to do whatever, and I got to roll with the punches.
Who you talking about?
Yeah, you know who the hell I'm talking about.
That is too funny.
What also comes to mind is, discipline is what happens behind closed doors. But ultimately, it is the result that everyone sees.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not people who witness and see the glory and the blessings, whether or not they can put together the amount of discipline it took to get to there is on them. It's almost like that black girl magic. The phrase is cool, it sounds cute, but ain't nothing magic about what it is that we do.
Come on now. Would you preach?
We put hard work. We put, there's dedication, there's commitment, there's discipline that takes place, which is why, you see all of what it is that you see, not just with you, Dr. Lynn Richardson, New Wealth University and everything that you've built, but also with Sunny Girl and what we built together, with MC Light as a brand. Like, all of it involves a certain discipline. If people think that I have not been handed songs that are ratchet and I don't want to get on them, you would be absolutely wrong. It takes discipline not to get on a record and just go ham and act like I'm straight, standing on the concrete streets of Brooklyn, New York. Like, of course, that energy pulls me back to want to do that. But I have to have discipline because I'm on a new page. This is the new thing that was put together, 25 years ago. So it's like, I did 7 years in the business. And then I said, you know what, this is not all to me. There's a mission, there's a reason for it all. And so you tap back into the reason why you started. But for me, I just wanted to be clear that trust and believe when you see something that is shining, that God has saw fit to put on top of the hill as a beacon of light, it's because some discipline was involved.
You know what I say? I say control is what you see at first is a result of control. Sometimes it's control, manipulation. It could be a blessing. It could be a miracle. It could have been a shortcut. You could have met somebody. But what you see over time is the result of discipline. So just it's like all the people who've had the one-hit wonders. You were just talking about the guy, one of my favorite songs. Get out the way, get out the way, get out the way. Yo, I can't say all the words, not the real words. And you said he came and went. You said he came and went. So there are a lot of one-hit wonders in many things, in a business deal that goes well, in a product that sells very well, in a record that comes out, and a spurt. There are many people who did well during the pandemic, but will you be able to maintain that success? The same way you had to pivot to deal with a quarantine, you now have to pivot to deal with the fact that people are going outside. So what you see at first is a result of control or blessing or a one-hit wonder or whatever, but what you see over time is the result of discipline. And do you have it? If you do not have discipline, you will lose control. And guess what? We're going to keep on talking about it. And Light, I want you to come up with us next.
Let's talk about real estate, real estate, real estate.
Hi, I'm financial expert Lynn Richardson. You've seen me on Good Morning America, The Breakfast Club, and WVON. I'm so excited about sharing with you the Home Buyers Club. It's time for you to get the home of your dreams. No credit, no problem. Low credit, no problem. No down payment, no problem. I am excited about you getting a piece of the American dream. Join the Home Buyers Club today. I'm financial expert Lynn Richardson. You may have seen me on Good Morning America giving financial advice. When you get my freedom package, you get the 21 days to financial freedom and how to start a home-based business. See you in class. Don't turn that dial. We have to take a break. We'll be right back. WVON.
More of the Millionaires Roundtable coming up on the Talk of Chicago. 1690 WVON.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I'm your host, Lynn Richardson, and we are creating millionaires one family at a time, one day at a time, $1 at a time, and one dime at a time. And that means you. All right now. So, we talked about if you don't have discipline, you will lose control. The other thing is discipline is the bridge between what you have and what you want. So if all you have is $100 and you want $1 million, discipline is the bridge. If all you have is if you weigh 200 pounds, you want to weigh 150, discipline is the bridge. If your kids are acting a fool and you want them to act like they got some sense, discipline is the bridge. If I feel like I'm at church doing a sermon, everybody needs to say amen. if your relationship is just tearing you down. You said what?
I said discipline is the bridge between your goals and your accomplishments. Accomplishing those goals.
So it's the difference between where you are right now and the goal that you want to accomplish in the end. Where you are right now and where you want to be later. Where you are right now versus what you see. Where you are right now versus the vision God gave you. Where you are right now versus whatever it is. Discipline is the bridge between that. One of the things that I've said quite a bit in my lifetime is when someone tells you have potential, that is not a compliment. It means you're not doing it right now. Lynn, you have the potential to be a great speaker. Lynn, you have the potential. In our TV shows, the show that you just shot, nobody said it has the potential. They said it's great. Anytime you come out on the stage, I guess from day one, when debtor's court, people don't say you have the potential. They say it is. So now there are some things that I am working on that I have not done yet. So I have the potential to make millions of millionaires. Haven't done that yet. I haven't done it. It's just not there. And discipline is the bridge between right now. We've created a few 100,000-aires. Come on, get on the team, everybody. And a couple of millionaires. But we have many, many, many more to go. So discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. How do we stick to the daily activities? Like you have been doing this for so long. How do we stick to it?
You just keep your mind on focus on the goal. I remember there are specific points in everyone's life where you have heard the word and either you heed the word or you escape from the word and act as if it had never been said. And those types of moments can propel you into your successes or leave you, where you are. Like you said, where you are. Unfortunately, for a lot of us, it's not where we want to be, but we're not willing to do the work to get to where we want to be. I mean, every winter when I come out of eating all the cupcakes and sweet potato pies and all of that, I say, ooh, I'm going to have myself a new body by spring. And, you do all of the work, you do it, and then if it doesn't come quick enough, it's like, okay, I might fall off. Or if I may get 20% shy of the body that I really want, I'll just go, oh, well, I'm all right. I can have this chip. I can have that. I'll be okay. Because look where I made it this far, but look what I got. So there's always been a way throughout my life that I can shy away. But I know that the real payoff is staying involved in what it is that I say I want. Now, when I was younger, there was a moment where, I was talking about the big star that I was going to be. But when I kept being faced with interviews, I'd be like, nah, I'm not going to do that one. No, I'm not going to do that one. And then I got a call from my manager at the time, and he was like, okay, so you say that this is what you want, but I see you taking steps towards something else. And when he said that, it was a real eye-opener, because in the moment you cannot feel like doing a lot of things. Well, your feelings ain't got nothing to do with what it is that you want at the end of the day. So it's all about like you got to keep the prize in your eyesight. And if that means you need to have reminders, I know many people that work out and have gotten their bodies in physical shape. They went online and found a body that they wanted to, mock and be like, and they keep that on their phone, or they keep, in a gym or where they work out, or on their mirror in their bathroom. You can keep quotes. People have triggers that can help them to be reminded of what it is they say they wanted. You can write your own mantras that can help you throughout. But I just know at the end of the day, I still feel I'm very grateful for where I am, but I'm nowhere where it is I see myself. And seeing myself is the vision that God gave me. So I'm just going to keep disciplined until he puts all of what it is that he showed me in front of me.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, even to hear you say that, it reminds us that we all have something that we need to, take a look at when it comes to discipline, no matter how good it is. And certainly if things aren't where you want them to be. The third thing I said is, if you want a whole blessing, you cannot take shortcuts. If you want a long dream, you cannot take shortcuts. If you got a big vision, you cannot take shortcuts. It cannot be smaller. What you put in can be smaller than what it is you want in the end. And, one of the things I've heard Will Smith say, and I've heard and witnessed up close and personal, and Steve Harvey and many others, the grind, the give, the what you put in has to be an all out. I remember even Steve Harvey, he had the sleep sermon that I still need to tell people about on a he said, you cannot become wealthy and sleep at the same time. He said, you can sleep after you become wealthy. You can sleep after you put some things in place. But he said, you cannot sleep a third of your life away and expect to achieve the dreams that you want to achieve. You're going to have to, go in. You talked about it. I cannot believe all of the years that we traveled. And I don't think people realize every time we travel from California, we got to get on a plane for 5 hours. It's 5 hours just to go to Chicago. And that's just a plane ride. That's not getting up, getting dressed, picking you up, getting to the airport, standing in line, waiting at the gate, then getting on the plane, then sitting on the runway. Come on now. I haven't even flown yet.
Right.
I just gave you 3 hours right there. 3-4 hours right there. We haven't even flown yet. And so, and then we get where we're going, and then we land, and then the car has to pick us up. Then we have to get to the hotel. Then we have to change real quick. We have to find a Caesar salad. Let me tell you, Caesar salad should be the number one commodity on earth. It should be worth more than gold, silver, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, whatever you got. A Caesar salad, because many times that's all we could get where we were. And then we go to the thing, and then we come back, and then we want to try to get home at a decent time to kind of recover. So we're back on a plane at 5 a.m. But we didn't get in until 1 a.m. We got to sleep for an hour. So you got to give up a little bit of sleep along the way. So the shortcuts. Did you have any shortcuts at any point? You
know what? If I did, I don't even remember them, because that's how short-lived a shortcut is. Because once you realize that it didn't bring you any closer and possibly could have dragged you back a few steps, you really want to put the work in, because you understand what it's going to manifest into. But a shortcut, I can't even recall one.
Yeah, I think about a shortcut. Perhaps I didn't have to audition to get a show on WVON, but as soon as I said yes, The discipline is the only thing that keeps me here. I got to keep doing it. I got to keep going. I got to keep moving. And I mean, when my show was on every Saturday, I remember there had been about 3 or 4 years I had never missed a Saturday show, not even on Christmas. Kennedy was, I think, 6 or 3, and she wanted some cookies, and we were on air on Christmas Day. And many of the listeners today, still remember that. So, a lot of times people kind of get jealous of folks, or they say, well, how did they get that? Or they got appointed for this, or they didn't go through the stuff I went through, or whatever. But the bottom line at the end of the day, if you're going to keep it, a shortcut is not going to help you keep anything. And that just is what it is. So if you want a whole blessing, you cannot take shortcuts. But we've got to tell the folks some of the things. So I said the first thing, once you've gotten the whole discipline thing under control, because at least in your mind, because I know discipline irritates me. It irritates me. I was having a conversation with one of my sisters the other day, and we both, I said, do you remember that time we were in this meeting? And she said the most ignorant thing, because we were talking about the rules and this, that, and the other, and how we were going to operate. She said, well, I don't like rules. Girl, we all you don't like rules? Come on down. Yeah. But I don't like them either. It's like...
I know you don't. You like making them. You don't like...
That, you just said it. That's control versus discipline. That's ignorant. You want to make rules and don't want to follow any. There's something wrong with you.
You are funny. That's ignorant.
Which is why I always have this back and forth battle with God about what I'm going to do, what I'm not going to do. I said I wasn't going to do radio, and here come Melody Calling. Here I am. I said I wasn't going to buy a house, and then guess what? I bought a house. I said I wasn't going to be on TV, and then guess what? I'm on TV. Because all of that requires me to follow rules. Mm-hmm. And I just want to wake up every day and do what I want to do. But I don't want to live like I'm somebody who's waking up every day doing what they want to do. I want to live like somebody who has put the work in. So ultimately, that's what it becomes. So one of the things that I say that everybody can do, if you want to start to implement discipline, do something for 21 days. 21 days to financial freedom if you want to get your money straight. What were you going to say, Light?
I was going to say 21 days to financial freedom.
Guess what I'm doing for 21 days? You're not going to believe this.
You are not going to have splendor.
Oh, no, I'm not giving that up. I'm not giving up splendor yet. No, well, I can do that, but I got something better for you.
What?
I'm going to meditate. Ha! Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Wait. We're going to talk about it in the next segment. Okay, just hold that thought for 1 second. Don't turn that dial. We have to take a break. We'll be right back. WVON.
More of the Millionaires Roundtable coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I'm your host, Lynn Richardson, and we are creating millionaires one family at a time, one day at a time, $1 at a time, and $1 at a time, and that means you. Okay, so yes, do something for 21 days. I might as well meditate.
I am so... you know what? I'm just elated. So how did you come to this?
Because there's a couple of things. One, whatever you did to get where you are now is not what's going to get you to the next place you're trying to go. It's not. And, I'm blessed. God is good. I don't have any complaints. And he have brought me all the way here with no meditation. With none. I mean, I've shared in the past that I had a very significant meditation experience. As a matter of fact, the first time I sat, and it was actually overwhelming. It was the launch of what I'm living now. It was 2011. I'll never forget. And the presence of God was so bright, light, overwhelming. I was like, oh, I got enough for the next 15 years. I'm straight.
Oh, goodness.
I'm talking.
Can't shy away from the power.
It was. I didn't know what I could do with that with anymore. It was, and I've said that, and people have asked me, well, what are you talking about? If you've never meditated, and if you've never had a revelation, or if you've never felt an anointing, a light, a favor, an energy, I can't explain it to you. You just have to. All I'm saying is, for those who have had the experience, it was that times 1,000. I was like, I can't do this every day. What y'all want me to do? Fly? I'll be flying. I'll be outside flapping my wings, flying with no airplane.
You know what? It do have to find I have to be, because a great flow of meditation will actually, you'll want to be there all the time. Because it's so easy, and it's so free, and it's so connected to God, and it's so, those moments during, and I can tell you this, I don't experience the same thing every time I meditate, so that is, that is the challenge, and the discipline involved is, even if you don't hit that point of connectivity that you would like to, or that you have experienced before, that carrying through with discipline, you'll soon reach that space again. But it's so calming to me, as opposed to what you saw through you. You were like, oh, can't do that.
Yeah, it was a lot. I was like, whoa. Like it was as if all the answers to everything that I ever had, or questions that I ever had, and all of the power, it all dropped at one time. And you already know, I'm a beamer. All of you all tell me I need to go sit down and relax, have a drink, because I'm like going.
Uh-huh.
It was too much of a battery for me. I'm usually the Energizer Bunny, keep moving. I don't understand what everybody's saying, blah, blah, blah. Even during our team call last week, Mayor acknowledged, like, Lynn, I see on Sundays you just move. Yeah. And like, I remember the first year I worked with you, I was texting you on Mother's Day. I still have the email. And you were like, woman, I'm chilling with my mom. And I'm looking at you like, I ain't ask you to answer. I'm just sending you what I need. And Sunday is the day that I do it. And anything that I've ever created, I've said, it's fourth quarter is big for me. Fourth quarter is always a game changer for me. And Sundays. I mean, I'm the pastor of stewardship. I don't know how they're going to have me as the pastor in the church sit in the front. Because I'm going to be like that little kid that your mom had to get, knuckle you upside your head. Because I'm restless. I'm not really there.
Right.
I'm just being honest. And even if I'm in the sermon and I'm listening, I will hear something and it will cause a whole spark. It will cause a year of thoughts, and I need to put them down, because now one thing I do know is if I don't act on it, write it, put it down, whatever, I will lose it. I won't get it back.
Mm-hmm.
And and so here's the other reason. Everybody that I admire, everybody that I know who is positively influencing the world in the way that I say that I want to positively influence the world, through media, through radio, through television, through interaction. I want to help people be financially free, spiritually free, emotionally free. Everybody that I know meditates.
Right.
And I'm the only one running around talking about, I ain't got time to sit still. Sound a little crazy.
Yeah, sound more than crazy. But yes, okay, so tell us more. So how are you going to do it, or what time of day, and how long?
See, there you go with those rules. This is why.
It's the rules, it's just questions.
Yeah, I know, but now we got rules to it. Like what time? I don't know what time.
Rules.
It's like praying. I don't necessarily pray before I eat, because I pray all the time.
Right.
So that's not anything distinctively different for me. To me, a lot of that stuff is ritualistic. And you know what? I'm not going to say I don't like rules. I don't like rituals and religion, and that stuff doesn't really produce good fruit. So I'm more of a free moving spirit, but I am going to use our sister attorney Serena Williams. I'm going to use her 21-day spiritual meditation journal. But I don't know what time, because I get up at 2 a.m. and I have to get back on my discipline of looking at the stocks and so on and so forth. So hopefully I'll come up with a routine, and I'll be able to share it with you.
Okay, great. And you know what? It doesn't even have to be a routine either. You like you said, sometimes you got to take it like you can get it. Like you can get it.
Yeah.
And the truth is, some mornings I get up early enough. I can do it at 5, and then my phone doesn't start ringing until after that. Or, sometimes I'll sneak it in the afternoon because my morning started off with a bang. I got to bed a little late, so I didn't wake up as early. So you just got to find those moments. That's all.
Yeah, my thing is people like, don't touch me, don't talk to me, don't do nothing, this, that, and the other, because I didn't meditate. And, I was in a car with Russell Simmons once. We were on a super rich tour. It was like 4 or 5 in the morning. He was fussing at the whole car. Didn't y'all meditate? And I was like, well, did you? Because if you did, and that's what it did produce, I'm not interested.
He's like, well, then we in trouble.
Right. And the whole car fell out, so, but no. So I want you to commit to something, do it for 21 days. The second thing is to eliminate everything that's in your way. If it's food, get rid of it. If it's a person, stop talking to them. If it's weight you need to lose, whatever it is, eliminate everything that's in the way of you accomplishing this for 21 days. And then the other thing, write, envision what you want to see on the other side. What happens if you stop spending money on random food? What happens if you stop talking to that person who's draining you? What happens, and don't be afraid to lose them. Anything you're afraid of losing, you've already lost anyway, and you're going to gain more if you let God do it for you. I want you to do it. So I know that this is an opportunity for every last one of us to look at discipline so we will not lose control. You know what, Light? Thank you so much. It's been a blast. You have been listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I am your host, Lynn Richardson. It's WVON 1690 AM, the talk of Chicago, the voice of the nation, our favorite radio station. I want you to follow me on social media at Lynn Richardson. Follow this show at Lynn Millionaire. Go and get help at asklynn.org because I want to help you take it to the next level. Guess what? I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.